First off, guys, the most important thing is we're going to look at our budget. So starting budget is at 14.5. We've already purchased 6.1 in regards to players from there. So now the remaining budget is 6.8. We still have enough for a new wage budget. So we've really got to, tread a little carefully with some of these. Some of these guys are going to be high. Money figures in terms of, the transfer budget. Maybe that'll help you guys filter your suggestions a little bit. I'm also, of course, going to filter them myself. I may even ask for an addition amount here. I'm feeling pretty good about the team. So here, this is a tough one for me. I can ask for however much I want. Like a cool 10 mil would be great, guys. I don't know about the league title. I mean, I'm confident in my team, but I need to build off of that. So I'm not going to ask for any more money. That's just how it's going to have to be. The short list, as you might have seen in the first clip there, Ross McCormick's at the top in terms of just sorting here. Ross McCormick at 2.5, good value there. 29-year-old. He's been in the league for quite a while. Good player. So I may look into him. He's in great form. Scott Hogan's one of those dark horses to me, like a David Ball, slightly better size to him in terms of kind of what I'm looking for as a forward, like more of a Charlie Austin side, not super big, tall like David Ball, but you can see he's got great acceleration, great sprint. His finishing could do a little bit better, but to me he's a good striker. He's got good control. Marco Sau was an outside shot at 2.5 as well, 74 overall, really nice, 28-year-old. You look at Ross McCormick, who's 29 at 2.5. So there's the comparison that I'm looking for. And he's a 5'7", so he's not very big. Scott Hogan's 5'10", Ross McCormick's 5'9". And then one of the outside shots here is Benfica Fobe, who starts for Wolves, and so this could be a tough one to poach. But he's up there at 3.1. Emo Ezekiel, I have not inquired. I'm going to go ahead and inquire about him. RC Enderlecht, that's tough. He's a young player. I've seen on FootWiz that he does pretty amazing for a lot of foot guys, and that always kind of turns me off a little bit because that tells me they use him, and he's probably going to condition very well. Kind of the same type of player that everybody goes after in these career modes. And that's kind of what I'm all about. You have to consider, I'm using QPR here. Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City to groom a young striker like Emos Ezekiel. So there seems like an investment. I don't think any other teams aren't suspecting of who they want to go after. Keno was one that we didn't get to pull the trigger on just because we ran out of time in the last window. So we'll be looking at him. Your 10 Beezer 34. One of the Operation Sports guys sent me a private message, and I appreciated that. To look at, anybody who watches the MLS, who watches college soccer. I mean, Darlington Nab is a force. He's a great player. He's a little on the shorter side, which is fine. Pacey, of course, but great control, amazing control. Really dribbles nicely. Has a shot on him when he does take them. Has scored some beauties. So definitely a possible consideration there. Maybe QPR could be his landing spot. Zagbia, a player I've played with, Aston Villa, when I controlled Aston Villa previously. Good player. Very preferred his left foot. Kind of streaky player to me. I added him in there just in case, but I'm not super serious about adding Charles Zagbia. There's just times he felt like my Aston Villa's version of Leroy Fair, So that's something that I'm just a little hesitant on, but I'm just going to keep him there just in case. Joshua King's next. I really like this recommendation about Joshua King because he's a very strong left midfielder. As it says, he has that special something, so I'm definitely going to inquire about Joshua King. And then there's Darren Gibson. Looking at my budget, Darren Gibson's going to take out quite a bit of that. And is he really going to make that big of a difference? I mean, he's a great playmaker. I got Alejandro Faulin, and then I've also got Luongo, who's stepped up a 68 overall. And Darren Gibson's a solid player, one of my favorite players. Deserves a shot. He's 28. He's trying to find his club, but that price tag's just a little high. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and remove him just because I can't approach this. Next is Aaron Doran, who we have scouted. Good acceleration, good sprint speed, strong player actually. Don't know what his overall is, but from the looks of it, he's probably in the mid 60s possibly. He's not very good at finishing, it looks like, anything like that. I don't want him to just collect dust on the bench. Giassi Zardes, USA international player, young player, 24 years old. I mean, all that points to just solid. So we need a player like him. As Matty Phillips. We've also got a bit of an aging squad. If you looked at our squad, we build our depth here. We have to build it with quality players. I know Giassi Zardes is good, but I also know MLS has a huge price tag when it comes to their players. But I'm going to go ahead and inquire. Just see what happens. Matt Ritchie, a good player from Bournemouth here, a Scottish player. A little on the shorter side at 5'8". Kind of reminds me of the Cherie that we already have, and then also Junior Hoylett that we already have. So, but really solid player. I'm definitely going to inquire about him. Zrin Khan is probably one of my top 10 favorite players currently playing. I just love how this guy just finds himself all over the pitch and still plays a little bit of a playmaker role, right in that sweet spot between 25 to 29. That's kind of where I like to sign my players. Sometimes 24, but 27 is a really nice spot for him. And I know, I know he may be starting at Genoa, so I'm still going to inquire about him. I know that's going to be quite the price tag at 2.8 out of our 6 point whatever it is, but that's gonna, that'll be one that'll be interesting to me. The guy that may take over from there could be Ibrahim Galeb, which was also recommended by Pure 10 Beezer. Why not? I'll definitely take a look at him. Napolis Mendy, I mean, strong player from Nice. I don't know as much of him in his real life, but I've used him in the past FIFAs, just testing, anything like that, and he's got a good solidness to him. Good looking player. I'm definitely going to inquire about him, although I fear another high price tag. Nick Viergever here is one of the players as well that we didn't get to pull the trigger on, even though there was an agreement in place. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of scout him this time. Camporese, this is a younger center back. This was primarily at the time I added him on my short list because we needed that center back depth. Now that I've got a makeshift Diakite and Angela, who should be fit soon. Grant Hall unfortunately dropped to be injured, so move forward with him. Just inquire. Kendall Watson, another really solid, very solid actually, center back, 6'5", great size on him. Only problem is it's MLS, and there's their high price tags when it comes to them. Matt Miazga, I mean, this is the ideal center back for some of the big clubs, and I added him on my short list. I just wanted to have him on there, see if I could consider him. But honestly, in real life, Miazga would never come to QPR. He's being groomed at Chelsea right now. I just don't think it's something that can be realistic for us to sign him, so I'm going to remove him. Clark is a player that could be considered. I like Kieran Clark as he's played for Aston Villa. I've used him, of course, at Aston Villa. I like his awareness. I like that he's kind of a man's man, center back who just doesn't take anything for granted. Does have sometimes the odd occasion where he just makes silly mistakes, but still a decent center back. He's got a good size on him too. Good speed, I know that, so I'm going to just see if we can just scout him a little bit more, see if there's anything outstanding. And then Leandro Bacuna, this is a player who can do everything. He can play right back, right mid, center mid. I've never played him up top, but he could probably do that too. He's just an overall player that does a lot. He's got a good size on him too. He could even be a center back, honestly. So I'm definitely interested in Leandro Bacuna. I always have to prepare. James Perch, again, great player on the right back. He's got that spot nailed down, but he's also in his 30s. So I have to start thinking about the length of this team and not approach it as just, I'm a temporary spot. This is the furthest and the highest in the table I've been in any career mode. Not dwindling down in mid-tier. So this is something I have to start thinking about, and the message I need to send to the club. Kyle Naughton, I watched a lot of Kyle Naughton when I was watching Tottenham quite a bit in real life, because Clint Dempsey. If you guys don't know, I follow players, I don't follow clubs. But Kyle Naughton was one of those that I feel like is a good player. I feel like he's still trying to prove himself wherever he goes. No matter what, like nobody's really given him a fair shot. Like he's one of those players that could easily be dropped at the moment's notice and nobody would bat an eye. I think he's gonna look for a spot if he finds QPR. Again, he'd be competing at that right back role, but he's at a good age too, where he's got enough experience. One, in a bigger club like Tottenham, and then two, at Swansea City, which has an incredible following. So this could be a good opportunity here. So we're gonna go ahead and ask him to be scouted. But I want to show you what's coming up in the next episode. We're playing Newport County at the FA Cup. We've really got to pick up the pace there and really dominate them if we can. Hall, of course, is injured. He sprained his ankle in the Huddersfield match. He's going to be fit in 13 days. Charlie Austin hyperextended that knee. He's going to be fit in 13 days. Anteros, a little bit longer, has 6 weeks on that dislocated shoulder. We definitely need him back. And then Gabriel and Hellas, we're still waiting on him 7 weeks for that broken ankle to heal up, and I'm not sure that's if he's going to be 100% ready, but really solid player. Can't wait till he comes back to help out Anuaha, who hopefully stays healthy. But that's the end of this real quick January transfer window special. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to make your comments below on what you thought about the shortlist, the budget, what other players we need to look at, and I'll make sure to take a look. Hoping by Friday to have this all set up and ready to go for us to make some moves. Till then, guys, take care. Stay tuned.